Good morning, welcome to Huckleberries. Today we are going to do So Kind of Wonderful, 70s and sunny rays. And what I really liked about this pattern is you get 4 layouts. So the quilt behind me, you can see is one of the layouts. And then today I'm going to show you the block. And then what I'm actually going to be making next is the layout that is like this. All my blocks will be like this. So the main thing with these patterns is the cutting. So it's very clear on the sizes of what you need to cut. So there's block A, B, which is my main color, C, which is my accent, and D, which is my background. Oh, this one cut. My background color. So to do the cutting today, we are going to need the quick curve ruler, the Wonder Curve ruler, which is the newest one, the latest one, and then you will need a 10-inch square or larger. So the first ruler I'm going to use is the Wonder Curve. And the Wonder Curve comes with all these markings. Can you see them through there?
There we go.
Okay. So I'm using the blue one today. So I'm going to move these guys out of the way. Just going to lay down my block. And this is where we're having the rotating mat. So I'm lining up the blue. Getting my cutter. Now I try to go to the outside edge. Oops, I might have had that quite in there. Oops, tell I don't use this one. Okay, there we go. And I didn't get it cut. Sorry about that. There we go.
Need a new blade?
I'm going to go to a bigger cutter. That's too funny.
It's hard when you're not at home with your own tools.
All right. There we go. Yay!
Yay.
You know it's live. Okay. So to cut the next 2, you need to photocopy the back of the pattern. And they give you this right on the back are your templates. So photocopy that. Then we'll trim it. So I have a paper rotary cutter. Paper. And you just cut it on the lines. So I just cut off the 2 outside. And if you'd like to cut the first one, just so you can make sure you're lined up. Then I switch to my fabric. Lay this right on top. And then you'll just cut right through. So now it's up to you how many you're comfortable stacking. So you'll make as many photocopies as you need, and you'll just cut right through. And keep going all the way across. Now, if you're going to make a lot of these, you might want to get your handy husband to cut you a little template. Or I know some of you have a lot of rulers at home. So if you have the 10-degree wedge, you could mark it as to where it lines up on here and go ahead and use that. But you don't need an extra tool for this. You can absolutely just use the template. So once I have all those cut, I just set them aside. Then my last piece is the background. This piece just gets cut in half on the diagonal. So this one is already cut. I'll lay it there for you. So you just see. Just cut this on the diagonal. And this is very well photographed in the pattern. They have really, really good color pictures. So they'll have you take one of these diagonals. Sorry, I did that too fast. You take this, fold it. Now I'm going to use my quick curve ruler. So I've got my quick curve. I'm using a friction pen. I am going to be cutting this away, so I'm not concerned with it leaving any lines. All the measurements are in the pattern, but you make a line. Then you take it, turn, and again, they'll tell you where to line it up on the pattern. I go here, cut. Now, this line I made here, I'm going to line this up. And right there. And I'm going to cut that right there. Again, I'm going to that outside edge. Okay, and this gets removed. And you can see this is now my background. Isn't that cool? Okay, so now let's start sewing. So initially here, these are our wedges that I cut out. This was my main color. So what I did for these when I was stacking them, I laid out my main color. There will be 5 per block. 3, 4, and 5. So what I did for these, I found it easier for sewing if I had this down and I put my accent color on top. And then I just kept going across. I put my accent on top, like that. Because then I can sew these, press, then just do the last one. So you can see here, I stitched them in little groups of 2. So these are all little groups of 2, stitched there, there, and then my last one. And when they're done, you'll get this lovely arc or wedge. I don't know why I found these a lot of fun to make, especially when I was doing all these fun colors. I could have made these forever. Anyway, so once you have this done, we're gonna sew in this center part. Now you might want to do a test block. I found for myself, pattern suggests you start straight up here, but I always ended up being really short. So it's possible when I was sewing these, I did 2 scant a quarter, so it might be a bit bigger. So for myself, I had to start down just a little bit, and I'm going to stitch one for you. You don't need to pin these. You don't need to stretch these. This is going to sit nicely in here. So I'm down not quite a quarter of an inch. That might be a bit too much if I did that far, but I'm down just a little bit. Take it to the machine. Okay, and just nicely ease that in. And if it folds up,
I'm just going to switch sides.
yeah, I forgot to put my needle down. You just want to nicely, and I'll just exaggerate. Okay, I've got it like this, and I'm going to do this. Okay, not that, but I exaggerated just so you could see. And if I need to, I can move my hands. Again, I'm not pulling, I'm not tugging, just nicely getting that in there. And you can see I'm a little short. Yours might be different. If you take a slightly bigger seam, you might not be short there, like I am. But that's why. So this way I ended up a little short on each side. So you can see it's a little there and a little there. Because these are going to get trimmed. So I want a bit of room on each side. So the sewing for that background is exactly the same. So I'm not going to stitch another one for you, but I will show you lining it up. These ones, I had no problem with it going all the way to the end. So I took that right to the end and I stitched it all the way around. Again, no pulling, no pinning. Then I press that out. So let's clear this away. Because the big thing for these is going to be trimming. I'll let you come around, Joanne. And I've got a couple of blocks here just so you can see that yes, some of them are a little wonky. So, but this is fine. These are all good blocks. But you can see I was always a little short. So that's why I gave myself a bit of room. So the next step is squaring these up. So you need a 10-inch or larger ruler, and the pattern tells you where to mark. So I used a dry erase. Now the problem with dry erase is it does what it says. I put my hand on here and I can easily wipe it away. So a lot of you have these stickers for your stripology ruler. So this is a great time. Get the stickers out, put them on there, and honey, if you're watching, I need some of these.
Can't really see the arrows, but they are
Oh,
arrows.
okay. They are arrows, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I can see. Yeah.
Right.
Anyways, they're little arrows.
They're little arrows. So this is where, again, having the rotating mat is really handy. I'm going to line this up, and I've got my little marks. Now, I'll start actually with a different one. Okay. I've got my marks, and unfortunately with them being black, you probably can't see them, but I have a mark here and a mark here, here, and here. Now, I did have to go slightly lower than the pattern. So if you have the pattern in front of you and you're looking at my little numbers, you might see they're a bit different. But when I checked a lot of my blocks, this lined up better for me. So the main thing is once I've chosen these dimensions, keep it. Because we're trimming these and we want them all to be as close as possible. But they are going to be a tiny bit different, and I'll be able to show you that better in a minute. So I've got this lined up on my lines. I'm trimming this right across here. And again, all the sizes are on your pattern. There we go. Getting my little pieces. And we love the rotating mat. Okay, I'm all lined up. And there we go. And then I've got some more of these cut out already. So this one, as I said, I'm going to make the big circle. So by having those lined up, the first mark is for here, and the second mark is for here. When I sew these together, they're going to be really close to lining up. If I randomly just squared them up, what ends up happening is I'm going to have some that are like this, and I'm going to have some that are like that. So by following those marks, you're going to end up with much, much closer block. Now the pattern did switch where these main colors were for this particular layout. They had the light here and the dark here. And I think that is so when your block is finished, this probably wouldn't be quite as noticeable. But I'm really happy with these, and I'll hold it up. It might show a bit better. But I'm really pleased with these blocks. And I like the dark, so I wanted to use it more. But now you can see the difference. So that one is the Sunny Ways, I believe. I've lost my pattern now. I All right, yes, 70s and sunny. So this layout is 70s and sunny, and this one is sunny rays. Now these rulers, in case you're worried you might not use your ruler again, the Wonder Curve ruler comes with the free butterfly. And I'm sure if you've been in the store, you've seen Deb's amazing butterfly quilt. She did the quilt rather than just a runner. And this is free with the ruler. And your quick curve ruler, oh, sorry. And the Wonder Curve, we also have their new book. This is amazing, great sampler book. And then we've got various patterns. The quick curve ruler also has a runner. It's a free runner on the back. And we have a lot of patterns. And the majority of those, we also have samples in store. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope you have fun making your So Kind of Wonderful quilt. And we'd love to see them when they're done. Thanks.